Hopefully, a lot has improved for you since July 26, 2023, back when I published my first Russell Greer video, detailing his entire ridiculous, embarrassing existence. I hope you've grown, learned, and gained a little more out of life in a year. To no surprise, 33-year-old Greer has changed very little, but here's an annual update nonetheless. Like the last video, images will flash on the screen very quickly to include every relevant detail. Feel free to pause to read the full text. If you don't know who Russell Greer is, I invite you to watch The World's Worst Paralegal, which will get you caught up in 40 minutes. In a nutshell, Greer is an emotionally stunted lolcow. His first taste of public ridicule began when he paid for a prostitute, ran out the clock at Olive Garden, and sued her when she didn't have enough time remaining to do the deed. Undeterred by this, he spent over $14,000 on prostitutes.
Damn, bro.
Russell feels entitled to the attention of celebrities in exchange for his terrible musical offerings, and sues them when he doesn't receive adoration. He's been convicted of cyberstalking and declared a vexatious litigant in his hometown before moving to Vegas so he could audition for America's Got Talent, which he also sued for not being advanced past the first stage. When the larger internet caught wind of his antics, he sued in order to fundamentally restrict free expression. When he's not being a legal nuisance, Russell spends most of his free time creeping on Instagram models. Lately, he's shifted his attention to becoming a brothel owner, despite lacking funding, connections, or business expertise. Oh, he also happens to be born with a messed up face. Unfortunate for sure, but no excuse for his behavior. There's plenty of people with disabilities that aren't complete knobheads. Anyways, last we left off, Russell was suing an escort for warning other sex workers about him, had defaulted on a $1,600 payday loan, and remained embroiled in a lawsuit against Kiwi Farms, a website, to remove a Google Drive link on a post to an upload of his terrible autobiography, instead of going after Google, who hosted the file. Yeah, it makes no sense. We'll get to that last, since it's the most complex. For the fans of his terrible songs, sorry to disappoint, Russell doesn't release anything new, despite hyping them up. This didn't stop people from using the lyrics he's posted to make their own AI-generated songs. A KF user did this with "She Don't Like Nice Guys," and Russell copyright struck it down. This spurred Russell to cry about being impersonated, claiming, "I don't know why people are still doing this to me. I'll help you out, Russ. It's because you're an active and ongoing public menace." His latest target is a burlesque performer named Maria Rivera. God help her. After Maria posts pictures of her pregnancy, he responds in an extremely creepy way. As far as legal battles, first off, the payday loan suit. It gets dismissed, so likely it was settled out of court. Well, that's that. Secondly, the escort suit. Russell sued a woman who goes by Sybil Stallone for $10,000 as revenge for, quote, driving off the sex workers who said they would help him, unquote, and the emotional distress that caused. In my previous video, I said he doesn't list a cause of action. My mistake. Russell does specify elsewhere what Sybil is falsely alleging about him, and it's that she has a restraining order against him, and that her boyfriend beat him up. Of the 3 known restraining orders Russell has earned, they're from Kira Keeper, Erica, and Tara Adkins, a Mustang Ranch employee. Sybil doesn't, and her boyfriend didn't beat him up. That's apparently important enough to sue her over. In classic Russell fashion, the filings include details that no legal professional would believe are appropriate to provide. He references the Olive Garden incident and claims Kira Keeper defrauded him, even though the outcome of that case determined she was innocent of fraud. This is another example of Russell declaring falsehoods in a legal filing. Unable to accept his loss, Russell continues to lie about this incident that first initiated his lolcow status. He fabricated a letter claiming it came from the brothel owner, Dennis Hoff, and is nearly arrested in the courtroom for perjury over it, but still wants people to pretend it's real to this very day. Anyways, that's old news. August 24th, Russell posts under the name Intimate Dealings LLC, making an offer that would get laughed off of Shark Tank. In exchange for you paying for literally everything to start up a brothel, he'll give you 40% of the monthly profits. Later on, he seems to make it a habit of contacting brothels that are struggling or go out of business and propositioning to buy their properties, despite lacking the means to afford them. He just says he wants to and hopes in vain that these statements attract the attention of angel investors. Examples include the Green Lantern, which gives off Fallout vibes. Russell enjoys indulging his ideas of fantasy brothels like the Wild West Resort. He abuses AI art to bring us a mind-bending, impractical architectural concept. He claims to buy a billboard. Unsurprisingly, this never happens. In February, Russell goes to an Esmeralda County Council meeting proposing to amend an ordinance to allow brothels within 5 miles of residences. It's unanimously opposed. Russell hasn't stopped creeping on Instagram models. At best, he just compliments them. At worst, he calls them his wife and demands they reply to his DMs. This changes whenever the woman poses with any man, and he reacts like a jealous boyfriend. Is that your brother? Is that your dad? Russell, stop. He even creeps on women with dicks. Russell queer out here thirsting after everything with a hole. Russell going trans would be quite the twist. Not satisfied with shitting up just Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Yelp, and YouTube, it's also LinkedIn that hosts Russell's insanity. A woman advertises consulting services. Russell, maybe I'll consult you one day. Smiley face. Reply, I don't know what that means. One can only hope someday he goes on to Twitch. Just imagine.
I don't understand.
Speaking of social media, Elon Musk buys Twitter and switches blue checkmarks to a pay model. Big baller Russell needs that clout and pays around $100 a year for this super special badge. Russell continues his tradition of applying for law firms, not getting the jobs for obvious reasons, and then leaving 1-star reviews of the businesses as revenge, claiming they discriminated against him. By looking into Russell's court filings in the past couple years, KF shares that he's recently attempted to file 3 restraining orders. 2 are against people who go by Shannon Howe and Lauren Costa for emailing him claiming to warn his potential victims. They're denied because Russell could just easily block the senders. Plus, he doesn't show up to court. The 3rd target's a John Doe who edits Russell's IMDb pages to add humorous attributions by listing certain 1930s German soldiers as cast members and calling him a buttface and a drooling hunchback. He pays $20 a month for IMDb Pro, so he takes it very seriously. Now for the main event, Russell Greer versus Kiwi Farms, a website, takes another unexpected twist. In October 2023, the 10th Circuit Court of Appeals overturns Russell Greer's pro se loss in district court against the gossip website, and the $300,000 contributory copyright infringement case is allowed to proceed. Against all legal precedent, the fact that site owner Josh Moon shared the takedown notice was somehow treated as if it was additional encouragement to infringe on Greer's copyright. In case you're unaware, this same sort of correspondence has been shared freely throughout legal history, and treating it as something dangerous for the defense to share sets an extremely dangerous precedent. Just for reference, the Colorado judges were appointed by Obama and Biden. Russell gloats about this achievement, despite not understanding what it means. He makes a post claiming the appeals court decided that KF infringed on his copyright when no such thing happened. What a responsible legal scholar. He promises he'll make a video about this turn of events, but doesn't. Probably because he realized he doesn't know what the he's talking about. He begs news outlets to interview him. Nobody takes up his offer. This legal phenomenon puts the owner of Kiwi Farms at an interesting crossroads. At the same time, he's being defamed on Twitter by his former DDoS protection host, Epic and Cloudflare. An old nemesis gained a bizarre advantage. In February 2024, the site starts a legal fund for both battles, asking for $75,000 and receives over $150,000 within 24 hours. Emboldened by the generous outpouring of support, Josh decides to elevate this to the Supreme Court over the chilling effect that penalizing sharing takedown notices creates. Eric Goldman, a law professor at Santa Clara University School of Law, wrote an article for the Technology and Marketing Law blog supporting the legal defense of kiwi farms, despite falsely claiming the site coordinates cyber attacks. A trusted legal counsel, Matthew Harden, is put in charge of this new endeavor. Harden previously had success defending KF from another vexatious litigant, Melinda Scott, but that's a whole different lore vortex. What follows is some legal jousting that is difficult to understand for a layman owl like me, but I'll explain it as best I can. In late October 2023, Null requests the 10th Circuit Court to hold an en banc hearing. There's no point in explaining this in detail, since it's denied. In January 2024, he requests that the jurisdiction of the case be moved to Florida, since neither him nor Russell lives in Utah. Other requests include adding Google to the suit, since that's who is hosting the files Russell is copyright claiming, and striking irrelevant details from the record, like the accusations that Kiwi Farms drove people to self-delete. Merry Christmas, Russell. Your present is that the Digital Justice Foundation drops you from being represented pro bono. Enjoy doing everything by yourself from now on, dumbass. Oh well, I'm sure he can handle it. In February, Kiwi Farms appeals to the Supreme Court a petition for a writ of certiorari to the Court of Appeals for the 10th Circuit. This is denied. After the case gets moved to Florida, Russell files an objection and gets it sent back to Utah, baffling all observers. One of the things that makes litigation with Russell Greer so obnoxious is that he continuously lists non-existent mailing addresses. In July, Russell files a pointless motion, declaring that in part because of his battle with Kiwi Farms, he will soon become homeless. Right about now, I'm sure he wishes he still had that $14K he spent on hookers. Aw, shucks, Russ. Well, just keep a stiff upper lip and you'll be fine. That about gets us all caught up. It seems this case, which began in 2020, is meant to go on forever. Russell pays little to nothing to file, and the owner of Kiwi Farms would rather die than settle. As of now, we're still waiting for a result.
Do you know that you're hot like a sauna? You make me feel good inside. Your smile's like a Red Bull, you give me wings, make me feel like I could fly. I wanna thank you, I wanna thank you for having all the colors that flank you. With 5 million people that follow you, I don't know if my words will ever get through. So here's hoping they find an opening and you hear the song that I wrote for you, yeah, yeah. You gotta know the sun stops shining, cause your light outshines it. Do you wanna stop shaking? Cause the minute candles make the earth stop quaking. You keep being you, you keep being you, you keep being you. You keep being you. You're tropical like the beaches of the Rowena. You got that ocean vibe, you're like an enchilada. You add spice to life, your smile is like the Mona Lisa. I think she was inspired by you. I wanna thank you, I wanna thank you for having all the colors that flank you. Oh yeah, oh yeah. With 5 million people that follow you, I don't know if my words will ever get through. So here's hoping they find an opening and you hear the song that I wrote for you, yeah, yeah, you gotta know the sun stops shining, cause your light outshines it. Your light out, do you wanna stop shaking? Cause you're the minute candles make the earth stop quaking. You keep being you, you keep being you, you keep being you. You keep being you. Keep us out of my. Do you know that you're hot like a sauna? You make me feel good inside. Your smile's like red bull, you give me wings, make me feel like I could fly. I wanna thank you, I wanna thank you for having all the colors that flank you. With 5 million people that follow you, I don't know if my words will ever get through. So here's hoping they find an opening and you hear the song that I wrote for you, yeah, yeah.